Hey, what's good, y'all? Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to some First Take. This is the day. We're going to be talking about Haliburton a little bit, as well as who could really be a threat to the Thunder. I'm really not going to get to that. I don't really give a fuck what Mark Keefe has to say, and we'll probably have to skip what he has to say. But let's just see how it goes. But I really want to see this question. Should Haliburton regret playing Game 7? The answer to that is no. That should be an astounding no. I do think that knowing the Kevin Durant situation, knowing about the Damian Lillard situation, you got to be more careful. So I think they could have not started him, let him get like a little bit more treatment, like to warm him up a little bit, maybe like restrict his minutes or see if they are in danger, and then you throw him back out there like to really figure out what's going on. But as far as him not playing at all, that would have been a horrible idea, and I don't think he would have liked it, and I don't think his teams would have supported him. Injuries are a part of the game. It sucks, but this is your last game, your last chance to win a championship. I mean, well, like for this season. If you are a competitor, then you're gonna play. I'm someone who is a competitor. I like to compete. I would have went out there and played. I probably would have been tentative. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have got up more jump shots, maybe less cutting. I would probably try to play more of that corner nigga role. Shout out to Swaggy P and Gills Arena. But that's probably would have, I think that would have been a better way to preserve him and maybe tell him to not go all out until that third or fourth quarter. Just seeing how like the game goes. Luckily, I do think his game, I think when he tries to get his dribble dribble moves off with the screen and the screen and roll, how he does that, that does take a lot of energy and a lot of movement. But when he is just doing his like facilitating, his spotting up, what he used to do with the Kings, as far as like before we really realized what he was as a player, I think he could have played most of the game without an injury. Again, hindsight is hindsight. We're all really Monday morning at this point, but that's just my opinion. That being said, I think he should not regret it, and I commend him for going out there. As should everybody. I hate that this is a question. I think it could have been posed better. Like, you know, what could they have done to let him play all the way through, or should they have sat him at the beginning and then put him in later? You know, something like that. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But let's go ahead and get started. See what they got to say here.
Sir, hey, I don't skip meals, Stephen A., and I'm not ashamed of it. The Pacers.
And I did see that Celtics trade with Drew Holiday and Anthony Simmons. That's an interesting trade. I may do a video on that. I still got to do the KD one also. But if this gets 5 likes, I will upload that tonight.
Confirmed that Tyrese suffered a torn Achilles during fourth quarter of Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Hali decided to play despite being diagnosed with a calf strain heading into the game and being informed of the risk of further injury if he chose to play. Hali had surgery yesterday and released a lengthy statement saying in part, "At 25, I've already learned that God never gives us more than we can handle. I know I'll come out on the other side of this a better man, a better player, and honestly, right now, torn Achilles and all, I don't regret it. I'd do it again and again after that to fight for the city and for my brothers, for the chance to do something special." Stephen A., I love that statement. It felt very from the heart.
Yeah.
And he certainly said all the right things, all things that I respect.
Just a quick thought. I don't know if you guys are really paying attention to, I guess, like the greater sphere of the NBA. But there's this conversation about the face of the league. who is the new face of the league. Some people are saying that the face of the league has to be somebody from American soil. There was conversations about Jokic, Luka, Wemby, Giannis. At this point, there are people trying to push the Shea angle, which I think is he seems like a cool guy. He seems like he wants to win. He seems like his teammates like playing with him. You really don't see anything bad about him in the media. Like, the only bad thing you see in the media about Shea is this pushed like narrative about like the foul baiting. That's a like debatable conversation, because I don't think that you know what? I'll push that for another conversation. Other than that small issue that people keep on putting on him that's making it seem like a big deal, he's not doing anything wrong. Sometimes he does have bad shooting nights. I think in Game 7, he shot 28%, something like that. I did do a video, so go ahead and check that out. But honestly, I think that this Tyrese Haliburton is damn near the same thing. It seems like his teammates like playing with him. It sucks that I feel like he gets unwarranted hate sometimes. I don't know if it's just his energy or what he does. I have sort of walked down that alley as well, as, I don't know, I feel like a corniness from him. I don't know if it's just his play. I don't know if it's just the way his jump shot looks. It just sort of pisses me off. I don't know. But that bitch be going in. So there's really no true complaint. I don't have true ill feelings towards him. I thought that the most underrated player, overrated conversation was funny about him being there. I thought that Rudy Gobert would have won that shit, because he's dog shit. With like, what is it, 3 or 4 defensive player of the years, something like that. So it's just interesting that that has became his fire. I feel like the Pacers were supposed to win this championship because of all of this narrative that's been around him. Like the Pacers, I feel like that there was a new energy around the Pacers. I have to make a lot of calls like for work and stuff. So I have people who are from Indiana, and I'll call them, and then I will ask them about the game. And then they'll be like, I have never been an NBA fan a day in my life, but something about Tyrese Haliburton and this team is sort of bringing something out of them. I think that's a important point for you to be considered the face. That's why it's possible for Shea to do it. OKC is Oklahoma, bro. Shout out to people from there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. So it's great seeing a superstar with teammates that enjoy being around him take a town or a city or a state that really isn't known for much as far as on the sporting side, like NBA, of course. Like I got the Colts or whatever for Indiana, but it's important for the small market teams to be competitive because it just makes the NBA better altogether. That's pretty much all it is. And sorry if you do hear the lawn care outside. My community got the lawn people out. But yeah, so let's go ahead and continue.
Do you think Hali should regret playing in Game 7?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, it was a Game 7 with a championship on the line. There isn't an athlete that I've ever met in my life on any level who would say you don't take the chance and you don't play.
Trevor paused in again. I promise that this is my last time until someone else says something. Y'all remember when Cam Newton? When the ball was loose and he was supposed to dive on the ball, but he didn't, and then he said he didn't want to get hurt or some shit. Someone fact check me on that.
In that particular situation, it's about your teammates. It's about a championship. It's about the city you're representing. It's about you and everything that you dreamed of. Your hope is that you get through it. You don't care what it takes. If you could do anything, there's no athlete that I've ever met, particularly on an elite level, that doesn't believe there is something that they could have done or they could do to help their team win. And if there is something, anything, then you do it. I'll never forget the story that I was told, and I think I saw it in a documentary that was being done, and they were talking about the Knicks when Pat Riley was coaching the Knicks, and Charles Smith was hurt. And while they were having a team meeting before a game,
didn't he break his foot?
Charles Smith walked in with a suit on, and Pat Riley looked at him and he said, do you think if it was an emergency and it was absolutely necessary that you could give us 2 or 3 or 5 minutes? And he said, yeah. He said, then what the hell are you doing with your suit on? What the hell are you doing with your suit on? 3 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. If you've got...
He's got his contract, thank goodness.
That's a weird transition like that. What, they cut him off? Anyway, yeah, I think that is a important conversation. I think they really could have limited his numbers, but for him to not play, that's like ridiculous. That should not be a conversation. I don't think he should regret what he is doing. And I think more people support the fact that he went out there and fought. You know, that was a weird transition. Why did it do that? Hold on, guys.
Or 3 or 5 minutes. And he said, yeah. He said, then what the hell are you doing with your suit on? What the hell are you doing with your suit on? 3 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. If you've got...
He's got his contract.
Why the fuck did it do that? I wanted to hear what he had to say. I don't care about hungry ass, whatever, man. That sort of pissed me off. Now I can't really bounce off of what he said because it just floated on to someone else. Anyway, yeah, he should have played. I think that Tyrese Haliburton is a great point guard. He is an evolution of the Steve Nash, Chris Paul point guard. We are seeing true point guards coming back. He is a clutch player. He has proved night and night again that he is a winner and knows how to win down the stretch. I believe in this Pacers team. I think they have everything that they need. I think Pascal Siakam can be a little bit more aggressive sometimes. That could really help them. Miles Turner can definitely, he could step it up maybe 1 or 2 more steps. I feel like he has all of the tools to be a great big, to be a Joel Embiid-esque big, someone who could spread the floor, can hit a midi, can put the ball on the ground, not doing nothing crazy. But I believe he has the skill set for that. This Pacers team could be dangerous. I think that some of those other players, they needed reps. They needed high intense basketball situations. A game 7 is completely different than a game 6. A finals game 7 is different than a finals game 6. I think a lot of players, once your superstar goes down, there's a lot of mental in there that you got to understand, that you got to change. I'm speculating. I've never been to an NBA championship. I never played in the NBA. I never played in college. I played in high school. I went to a few championships there. Didn't win anything. So this is just all speculation. Let me just go ahead and say that so y'all don't jump me, because then we're going to have an issue. But yeah, bro. If you watched enough basketball, if you played enough basketball, even going to the court with your friends, playing 21, you need that last bucket, or you're going down to 12, or you're going down to 15, like depending on where your region at. That's when it's different. Everybody is going to try to guard you. Everybody is going to change to 100%. You're going to have to figure out how to get a bucket. It seems like Miles Turner never really figured out how to do that. How to flip that switch, how to lock in to a whole nother level. You need to be even better than you were in game 5, game 6 for you to win a game 7. You need to be more cohesive than you were in Game 6 for Game 7 for you to win. Shout out to TJ McConnell. I did do a video talking about like the finals already, whatever. But he put forth effort out there. He did have seven turnovers. Tough game, but people were defending him. He was getting jumped on, but that dude was playing hard. He was playing hard. He was being aggressive. He was being way more aggressive than the second and third option, being Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, which should never be the case. In my opinion. But that's really all that I have on this conversation. This shit really ruined it for me. Every single video that I have done, like reacting to First Take, I always really don't give a fuck about what he says. Let me just go ahead and say that. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If this gets 5 likes, I will post about the Celtics in their new trade. I think it was a very interesting trade, and I think there's a lot that could be said about that. Peace.